Fighting architect from self-study to the world, the challenge of Tadao Ando. What does it mean to fight? For Tadao Ando, it wasn't only about throwing punches in a boxing ring. It was about taking the blows of life, poverty, criticism, illness, and still standing up, again and again. This is the story of a man who began with nothing, no degree, no English, no privilege, and yet he became one of the greatest architects of our time. Ando was born in 1941 in the back streets of Osaka. He grew up with his twin brother, raised by their mother and grandmother. Money was scarce, but his will was strong. As a teenager, he stepped into a boxing gym. Under the harsh lights, the sound of fists striking sandbags filled the air. In the ring, he learned something vital. Fighting isn't about defeating others. It's about confronting your own fear, your own weakness. That lesson would shape his future far beyond the ring. At 22, Ando retired from boxing. He made a decision that shocked everyone around him. He wanted to be an architect. But he had no degree, no formal training. Instead, he haunted the bookstores of Osaka, standing for hours in front of thick foreign language books filled with drawings and technical diagrams. He traced lines with his finger, teaching himself what others learned in university. By day he worked, by night he drew. His tiny desk, lit by a single lamp, became his new ring. But books were not enough. In the late 1960s, Ando travelled across Eurasia. With almost no money, determined to see architecture with his own eyes, he stood in awe before Le Corbusier's Ronchamp Chapel, feeling how light itself could create holiness. He walked through the strict geometry of Mies van der Rohe. He listened to the rushing water at Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water, where nature and human life intertwined. These experiences lit a fire in his heart. I will create buildings that connect people and nature. Back in Osaka, Ando opened a tiny office. In 1976, his debut project shocked Japan, the row house in Sumiyoshi, a long, narrow house cut in half by an open-air courtyard. Rain, wind, even snow passed through. Critics said it was absurd, impractical, but others saw bold genius. It forced people to confront nature in their daily lives, and it made Ando's name known across the nation. 13 years later, Ando unveiled his masterpiece, The Church of the Light. A simple concrete box cut with a cross-shaped slit. When sunlight streamed through, the bare interior became radiant, sacred. No stained glass, no ornament, only light and shadow. It was called minimalism at its peak, and it put Tadao Ando on the world stage. Ando's vision extended to entire landscapes. On the island of Naoshima, he buried the Chichu Art Museum underground. Visitors descend into the earth, guided by shafts of daylight, until they stand before Monet's water lilies. Art, nature, and architecture became one. The project revived the island, transforming it into a sanctuary of contemporary art. Ando proved architecture could change not just skylines, but entire communities. In 2002, Ando conquered America with the Modern Art Museum of Fort Worth. Its vast glass walls mirrored the lake outside, while quiet concrete columns created serenity in the heart of Texas. Americans, used to bold spectacle, were stunned by silence. One critic wrote, "A Japanese architect has brought tranquility to Texas." Ando had shown that the language of light and nature is truly universal. There was one more obstacle: English. Ando struggled with the language, yet he never let it stop him. Instead, he used models. Perfectly crafted, detailed, alive with light. His models spoke louder than words. Jurors and clients around the world saw his vision, not through sentences, but through experience. As Ando often said, words differ by country, but space is universal. Later in life, Ando faced cancer. He lost his stomach, gallbladder, part of his pancreas, and even one lung. Yet he continued to design, to lecture, to inspire. Even from a hospital bed he drew. His message was clear: an architect fights as long as life remains. Tadao Ando's story is not only about buildings, it is about resilience, about turning weakness into strength. He teaches us that there are horizons only visible through challenge. So ask yourself, what will you build with the time you are given? Fighting architect from self-study to the world. The challenge of Tadao Ando. Thank you for watching until the end. Please leave your feedback in the comments section. We'd appreciate it if you could click the like and subscribe buttons. It really encourages us to keep creating.